In this tutorial video, I'm going to show you how to run reports in Iris Insight. Once in Iris Insight, to get access to all of the reports, all you need to do is click on the Reports module at the top of the page. Once in Reports, you will see on the left hand side we have a list of forecast reports, and on the right hand side you'll see a list of management reports. We have options on the left hand side to run off a full forecast, a P&L, a balance sheet and a cash flow forecast report. So if we click into the cash flow forecast report, we can choose the start date and end date for the report, whether we want to display periods daily, weekly, monthly or annually on here. We can choose the level of detail, so do we just want it summarized or detailed, and also do we want this financial or forecast year. Once you've selected all the criteria for the report, just click export and it'll export all that information out into an Excel workbook, and we can now see detailed next to individual sales and expenditure lines, the month and also the value that's due in and value that's due out, and our closing cash balance at the bottom of the screen. If you want to enable editing, you can make any amendments if you wish or link it to another Excel workbook. If we go back into reports, we also have a balance sheet and a profit and loss forecast that is run exactly the same way. If you would like all of these reports collated together, then you would run off our full forecast report. Again, just select the start date, end date, whether you want detailed on the P&L and the balance sheet, and then at the bottom just click export. It will then create one single workbook with tabs at the bottom, so as you can see, I can see a detailed P&L forecast report for the year, and then I can switch over to my balance sheet, and then I've got my cash flow forecast in there as well. So it's one single workbook for your P&L, your balance sheet and your cash flow forecast. So it saves a lot of time collating all of that information from separate sources into one. Back into reports then, underneath here we can see a detailed P&L transaction list. So if we click into here, again select the dates, just click export, and that report will go out to Excel, and we can see now all of our various sales categories, each month and the value that's forecasted against that. So we can see all of those P&L transactions all in one single list rather than seeing it in a normal forecast report view. The last report on the forecast side of it is the payment terms. So we can look at forecast assumptions. I don't actually have any in there at the moment because I didn't set them, but you can set them in with regards to customer and supplier and what those assumptions are looking like. On the right hand side we have our management reports. Underneath we have our performance dashboard, our monthly trends and our annual trends. So if you click on the performance dashboard, it will just link you through to the KPI and performance dashboards on the left hand side. So that's a direct link through to the dashboard module. Your monthly trends and annual trends, you can see here we've got our direct cost graph, gross profit, overheads. We can see our cash balance, trade debtors balance and our trade creditors balance in there as well. So it's all a graphical output. So that's monthly, and then you can look at your annual trends as well. So as you can see, I've got a profitability graph in here based on sales, direct, gross profit, operating costs and operating profit. So back into the management reports then, we have an actuals versus forecast and a full year forecast report. So if we look at our actuals versus forecast, I can choose my start date and my end date. We can just have a look at this from a summary level, or we can do a combined or a detailed level in here, and then we can display the value with zeros or just pounds on there. And if I just update that, that's now come in a detailed level, so it's actually drilled down to my individual sales codes. I can have a look at my actuals, what my forecast was for the month, any variance in there as well, and we can have a look at our year-to-date actuals, year-to-date forecast, and our variance figures in there as well. And if we scroll down to the bottom, it will give you all your totals. That information can be exported. Again, if you just click export, it will just put that into an Excel workbook, and we can see that information has come through directly into an Excel format. The next report we're going to have a look at is the full year forecast report. So what this report will do, it will show our actuals against our forecast. So I'm just going to set from the start of the year, so my actuals from January to the end of July, and we're going to show our forecast from the 1st of August to the end of my financial year, and I want to view that in a detailed level. When I export this report, this is now going to show me, highlighted in blue, are my actual figures year to date, and then on the right hand side I can see what my forecasted figures are as well. So we can see on the right hand side we'd have a constantly changing figure, so at any point when we open this report we can see exactly where we're going to finish at the end of the year based on our actuals and what we're forecasting to finish on. So that's an ever-changing report, and that is the full forecast report. You do have the option to run off a monthly management report as well. So if you click on monthly report, you can select which month you want to run this for. So I'll run this for July. Whether you want to display just pounds or you want to display your zeros in there as well. Are we going to show comparison with forecast and prior year? Or do we want to include year-to-date information as well? I'm not going to on this occasion. And then we just export the report, and this will generate a PDF management report for us. So all I need to do is save that management report. If I just open that up, we can see for my business, I'll zoom out a little bit, I've now got a contents page, so it's basically going to include our KPI, profit summary, sales analysis, gross profit, full year forecast, sales trends, and our balance sheet. So on one single report, we can now see I've got July, how it performed against forecast and variance figures, gross profit analysis, our full year forecast, year to date and compared to prior year. We've got our sales trends in there, so we've got a graph as well as the forecast and actual figures underneath. We've got our gross profit trends in there as well, to date. Our balance sheet compared to forecast and compared to prior year. And all that information has come out on one single report that can just be printed off and sent across to the client. If you're using open space, then you'll have another button in here on these reports, which will be a publish to open space. So you can just click on that button and the client will receive a notification to log into their open space account to retrieve these reports. And that's how easy it is to generate and run and print the reports directly from Iris Insight. For more information on reports, please contact support.